Hey there everyone, I'm meteorologist Nicole Madden with your latest update here with Hurricane Irma. This is still a major hurricane getting closer to the U.S. coast as it's now moving just to the north of Cuba and making its way through the Bahamas. We do have watches and warnings in effect, not here in the Carolinas, but they are in effect right now for Florida. Hurricane warning in effect for all of South Florida. We have that hurricane watch in effect just south of Tampa. And we also have storm surge warnings in effect where we could see 5 to 10 feet of storm surge from this storm. And if you've been watching WCCB this morning, you may have noticed that we do have a change in the track, which is a little bit more positive for us here in the Carolinas, but we could still see impacts from Irma. So I want to make sure that you are still aware of what we could possibly see over the next few days. Now, Hurricane Irma right now, sustained winds of 150 miles per hour. This is just 7 miles per hour less than that Category 5. So still a major hurricane, very dangerous, and obviously a life-threatening storm. It's going to continue its path here just to the north of Cuba for making landfall in South Florida late in the evening Saturday into early Sunday. And this will be a Category 4 storm, so major damage possible. On the east side of Florida, looking to see the potential for major damage here. We're going to see very strong winds, flooding, storm surge to the west. Mainly that's going to be that big storm surge threat, but we could see, again, with that eye wall, 150 mile per hour gusts out of this storm. So it's a very dangerous situation. As it carries itself through the spine of Florida, this is a different track, not going off the coast of Florida, continuing up the spine of Florida. That's going to really help to weaken this storm quite a bit, down to a Category 2 status by Monday morning, but still dangerous here as it continues its path through Florida, entering in through central Georgia. Now, by Tuesday morning, the storm will be downgraded to a tropical storm, but I don't want you to get too caught up into the categories of this storm, because you don't need a named storm to get the deadly effects from it. I'm talking about flash flooding. We could see some isolated tornadoes, especially to the east side of this track. So we're really looking to see here into South Carolina, especially onto the east here of Georgia as well. So we're going to be keeping our eyes on this very carefully as we go into Tuesday. Although that cone now does not include the Carolinas, we're not going to see the bulk of Irma making its way over us here in the WCCB viewing area. Again, we could still see some of those impacts in the coming days, especially as we head into Monday and Tuesday. After we get through Tuesday, this storm is going to completely rip apart, and we're actually going to see those clear conditions return on Wednesday. So one of the big factors will be the potential for some heavy rain. Now, right now, our model out here projecting 2 to 3 inches of rain possible, especially across the southern Piedmont. We could see some isolated areas where it could be stronger than that. So some of those rain bands that we get through could train over the same area. So keep in mind that we could see some isolated flash flooding here as we move through the day on Monday into Tuesday. Another big factor that I want to tell you about is the potential for some isolated tornadoes. Not to scare you, but on the east side of the track of these tropical systems, about 100 miles from the center, is where we do see the development of those quick spin-ups. What does that mean? It's just that it's going to be a quick tornado. Usually by the time it's indicated by radar and we get a warning out, the tornado's already dissipated. Still doesn't negate those risks here with that, or those threats. Usually they're on the smaller scale though, anywhere from an EF0 to an EF1, but just wanted to put that out there that we could be getting some of those stronger storms with some of that circulation making its way into the Piedmont, especially throughout the day on Monday and into the late evening hours Monday into early Tuesday. So that is what we're looking at right now. Also just wanted to note here that we are keeping an eye on Jose, which is now a Category 4 and very close to that Category 5 status. That's making its way into the Leeward Islands, and actually our thoughts and prayers go out to the folks in Barbuda, because this storm is heading very close to them as well. They actually have those mandatory evacuations. If you've been listening or paying attention here, you may have heard that that island was just almost completely wiped out. So definitely keeping an eye on this storm to follow up in Irma's path, looking to make a swing to the north. We're really just going to leave that to the wayside, and we'll worry about that in the next few days. But for us, Irma getting closer here, less than 600 miles, I believe, from the coast of Florida. So something that we're keeping our eyes on here. It will be crucial over the next 72 hours. anyone has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. No questions? All right. Well, we're going to keep giving you updates throughout the day into the weekend as well, so you can stick with us. This track, again, it is a little bit better for us here in the Carolinas, but of course, all our thoughts and prayers going to the folks in Florida because this is a very dangerous storm making landfall late Saturday into Sunday.